Today I'm analyzing the fugue in G major from Bach's The Well-Tempered Clavier. I've highlighted the subject in pink, counter-subject in orange, episode with the purple bracket, inversion of the subject in yellow, and inversion of the counter-subject in green. Firstly, I will analyze the structural aspect being utilized in this piece. This fugue is divided into three sections: exposition, development, and recapitulation with the recurring melodic idea. The piece consists of three independent voices created by only two hands on a keyboard instrument in polyphonic texture, which is predominantly used in the Baroque era. But sometimes there's only two melodic lines presented in the piece, as it is not easy for piano player to create three voices at the same time. The use of different layers throughout the music creates texture interest in the piece. However, I will only analyze on the first two pages today. The subject is introduced in the treble clef accompanied by a pedal note in descending pattern. In bar 5, the counter-subject is presented in the treble voice, which has modulated to the dominant key D major in an ascending pattern, contrasted with the subject in alto voice, demonstrating the polyphonic texture between contrapuntal voices, which reveals the Baroque characteristic. The counter-subject consists stepwise notes in quiver rhythm that provides forward momentum, which was widely used during the Baroque era. However, Episode 1 came in relatively early in bar 9 in this fugue, compared to other fugues Bach has composed. Episodes are used to develop material and modulation. Episode 1 only lasts for 2 bars and modulates back to the tonic key of G major in bar 11, featured in the leading note C natural. The episode pitch pattern establishes its unique characteristics that are used throughout the piece, which creates unity where one part remains the same as an indirect pedal on a repeated note, and the other part moves to create a melody that is often used in Baroque music. In bar 20, auto part came in with the inversion of the subject that has the same rhythmic idea but in ascending pattern, juxtaposed with the subject. On the other hand, the bass introduced the inversion of the counter-subject that has a descending pattern. Therefore, the unity is remained by using the same rhythmic idea, where contrast is created through inversing the pitch patterns of two independent subjects. Baroque music tends to use the same melodic idea throughout the piece according to the notion of continuity. But the constant unfolding and expanding of the melodic idea is used very often as demonstrated in the piece. The exposition ended in bar 30, and the episode 3 came in bar 31 with rapid modulation from D major to G major. And in bar 35 to bar 38, it modulates each bar from C major to A minor, then landed on E minor, which is with its classified characteristic demonstrated in the unique pitch pattern. In bar 38, subject came back in E minor, marked the beginning of development with subject in the treble voice, contributes to the unity of the fugue. However, the left hand is playing the inversion of the subject instead of the counter-subject. that creates unity in the identical rhythm, while contrast is also shaped in the inverse pitch pattern. Overall, unity is created through the recurring melodic idea and the sequence of the pitch pattern heard at the beginning, which are repeated throughout the piece. This rhythmic continuity provides a compelling drive and forward momentum features Baroque characteristic. Furthermore, the texture is predominantly in polyphonic that consists 2 or 3 independent voices, which creates contrast and reflects the Baroque era.